All right, guys, let's see what we can do here today. We are at home here against Milan, and we need a win. We have not been winning much lately, and it's time to turn that around. So let's see what we can do here. We should be able to beat Milan pretty handedly, but you know how it is here in the Premier League. So we'll see what happens. We are 3 points up over City. As you know, if you've been watching these videos, I am focusing right now on this save, and we're going to see how long this lasts because I'm quite worried that in this save we're going to end up going completely bankrupt. And once it's not much fun to play with, I might just abandon it. So let's see what happens. I do want to, at the very least, play through the end and see what happens. Davici with the good interception. Bobby Charlton is injured already. Ronaldo throws in to Charlton, back to Ronaldo. Ronaldo with a crossover to Law, and that is in. Mason Mount got the deflection to go in, and that makes it 1-0 for United after about 2 minutes are gone. And that's a little bit more like it. Where has that been the last couple of games? So I'm not sure if Bobby Charlton's actually injured or not. Ronaldo did a good job finding Law, whose header was then tapped in by the head of Mount. So 2 headers in a row, and we score. It's 1-0 for United, and that's a little bit more like it. Looking at Charlton, he doesn't even look like he's got a condition issue. So I'm not sure if the game was actually telling me anything that was real or not. You know how Football Manager is. Sometimes it tells you to worry about things that are not things you should worry about. That's the way it goes. It's Leao here, and he gets a shot from an insane angle, and Leviashin is able to knock it out. That looked like a hockey shot. There's Wayne Gretzky coming in behind the goal, something like that. So here's Ronaldo with the throw. Long throw over to Mount. Awful throw by Ronaldo, but Mount ends up winning it in the end. Over to Charlton, back to Breitner. Segundo Volante, over to Pogba. Pogba knocks this one up and is deflected and over everybody's head. It'll be another corner. And so we'll see what we can do here with this next corner. It's going to be Mount. He's going to launch this towards the box and looking for Terry, and he can't quite find him. And I'm quite convinced that I set up the corners ahead of time, but it didn't quite work. That's the way it is sometimes. And Pogba wins this ball off. Good job by Paul. Over to Charlton, back to Mount, to Best. Best now up the left side. He's upset with me for having him play in this position, even though he's played in this position the entire save. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do about that. We have you here, and we have you playing here. I think he's upset with me no matter what. And we need to get the ball back, or I'm going to be upset. And we do get it back. It's Terry who wins this in the end. Really dangerous pass to Leviashin, and I think we get it out of the box somehow. Best with the throw to Davici, back to Best. I'm surprised that Milan don't have more players forward for that. Best ends up running through the defense like it's nobody's business over to Mount, and his pass to Best is bad. Not the best of passes. And let's see, we win this in midfield. Terry over to Law. And it's just an awful first touch by Law. And look, we've given up a great counterattack. And Ronaldo, we're fouling all over the place. No call. We're very fortunate. Charlton passes over to Mount, and we have a break, but nobody's there. It's passed back up to Charlton, over looking for Pogba. Can't find him. And this is going to be back for a kick from goal. And this is bad. This is very bad. Leviashin with a miracle save. Davici knocks it over to Best, and our woes continue. We look good in attack, but that looked really, really poor in defense. Mount knocks this one forward, looking for somebody, can't find him, whoever it was. I think the Mount is actually supposed to be up in there. That's what happens when you don't choose your corner takers, whatever. It's Leao again, who's been running us ragged, and he passes backwards, and it ends up with somebody or other in there, and there's an offside call, which I'm not sure if that was actually warranted. Leviashin here kicks this over to Cristiano Ronaldo. Down to Pogba, over to Charlton. Charlton up to Law. Wasn't much of a pass by Ronaldo, but it worked in the end. Law with this here on the right side, over to Ronaldo. Ronaldo better pass to Pogba again, so you can see they've got a little bit of a, they're getting a partnership established between the two of them, and it's out for a corner. Here's Mason Mount with this corner. He steps back and goes up and fires, and Terry hits it back to him. What is he doing? I'm not sure, and that's going to be called for offside. You can't do that. And this is the thing that so many Football Manager content creators have complained about over the many, many years, which is why in the world is it that my players are hitting headers or hitting corners straight back to the guy who took the corner? Of course, he's out of position. What are you daft? Of course he's going to be out of position. You just look at it on paper and you can see it. Dennis Law is injured. He had a good game. Good job, Law. And we're going to put in Jong Woo-young because he is our go-to man when somebody gets injured. And so hopefully he won't be out for too long. Charlton loses this, but Best wins it again. Over to Bobby. Now to Mount. Back to Best. Best does win it and takes a shot, and that was deflected. I thought that was going in. And so the 3D has kind of kind of colored my perspective here a bit. Mount with the corner, far post, looking for Terry. Can't get it to him, and that is out for a throw for United. I don't think we're going to see this throw, and we will not. So that is the end of that. Still only 1-0, and we barely have been in charge of the momentum of this match, which is a problem because we're at home. We should be more in charge of that. I think I worry a lot that I've kind of lost the clubhouse a little bit here, which if you've been a long-time viewer of this channel know is no surprise. I do a pretty good job of that. That's what's hard with sort of jumping into a save where you're expected to do well, especially one like this. We have a whole bunch of big personalities and big players. Pulisic almost loses that, and Leviashin fortunately is able to make a save. That shot came ricocheting through about 10 different players. It's another corner here from Milan, and we are able to no, it's going to be called for a handball for Tomori, and so that is going to mean it's going to be our ball here in the end. I'm not sure how he got a hand on it because I don't think he was anywhere close to where the ball came in, so that's another questionable call by the referee, and that is what we are used to. Devici now kicks it over to Pogba, and the game has slowed down considerably. I'm not sure why. Best with it. Best now looking for a cross back to Edwards. Really slow pass to Pogba. Now to Edwards again to Breitner. Breitner back to Edwards. Edwards over to Best. This looks okay to Pogba. Now back to Best to Edwards, up to Breitner to Pogba. And it's a shot from range. That is not what we were looking for. That's not what we wanted. Still 1-0 is all for United. Here's Mount with a free kick, and that is knocked up by the wall, and the keeper's able to grab onto that one easily. And so that's not working so well either. And it's only 1-0 here at the half. We were kind of hoping for a little bit more of a dominating performance, and we're just not quite seeing it here. I do think we could take another charge, another level of this match. We could take control here, but I'm not sure that we will. I don't say that part out loud, though, to the players, of course. We're going to bring one guy off, and I think this is Best. Yeah, it's Best who is not really having the best of times out there, so Giggs will go on for him. Let's see how that works. George Best is not the biggest fan of me, and I mean, I know that we don't want to sell all of the big legendary players, but should this save continue, i.e. should we have some money, I think we end up selling him because he's just not been playing the way he should. The big match right now, of course, is Liverpool-Manchester City, and we hope that they end in a draw, because if that happens, then we get some breathing room. And we'll see what happens, though. If Liverpool win, then I think they end up tied with City, and then both teams are giving us problems. And Martinez with a really, really poor attempt to clear that. Fortunately for us, that header was off, and I'm not sure how that header was offline. It's another one of these sort of strange football manager things where you look at this and you think, oh, they must score, must absolutely score from this position. And Giroud's header is so far wide of the goal that I'm not sure he knows what city he's in. Speaking of City, Manchester City have gone up 2-1. Pogba can't win this. It's Charlton who wins this in the end, takes a shot from range, and it's really not even close. It's out for another goal kick, and yeah, we're in trouble here. We want to get that second goal to make this an easier match for us. Ends up being headed back to Martinez, over now to Ronaldo, brings this up on the right side. Ronaldo comes up, runs past everybody. Good job by Cristiano Ronaldo, and there is the pass over to Mount, and Mount's shot is off target. And so, I mean, you have to ask some questions about that. Both teams here in this match have had shots from very, very close range that have been off target, and there are a lot of questions to be asked, like what happened there? How come we missed that? You're right in front of the goal. The goal is very large, and the ball may not be that big, right? But it's big enough. You should be able to guide that ball at least towards the goal. Pogba over to Ronaldo. Back to Breitner, now to Jong Woo-young, to Charlton, and up to Cristiano Ronaldo. Brings this up with a full head of steam, and there is the cross, and it's just not quite good enough. Not exactly the best choice in the world for Ronaldo, and we're in trouble now because nobody decided to play defense. This is what happens when you don't have guys on playing fullback, I suppose. Fortunately, though, we forced them into a long shot from range, and it remains 1-0. And this is the type of match that you hate because it's close. Martinez to Pogba, back to Martinez. Over to Terry now. Terry passes to Jong Woo-young. Jong Woo-young brings it up center of the pitch over to Pogba. Pogba down to Charlton, who's behind the defense, and his shot is ricocheted off. And Jong Woo-young is there, and he makes the interception, and then tries a shot that's deflected right away. And it's going to be Giggs who comes from the back, but he can't get it. Now he's out of position, and look at what this has led to. It's led to another break and another problem. And it's Giroud, who's been fouled by Terry. They're going to call that a corner instead of a penalty. That should have been a penalty. I thought that was pretty obvious. And so there are problems, definitely. It's another corner here, and we have fortunately won this. Altafini has handballed, and that is the saving touch for us. Charlton with a good shot from right there, and then Jong Woo-young wins this pass right here and just doesn't know what to do with it. He tries to take a shot from range instead of trying to help us get this resettled. I mean, they had enough guys back that it wasn't going to be too much he could do with it, but that's kind of problematic. We should have done a little bit better than that. Giggs doesn't like playing in the wing-back position either. And so it goes, and I am considering the possibility of maybe doing some other type of project and trying to come up with a different tactic because I think we've kind of played this one to death. It works, which is nice. Lev Yashin here with the ball, and looking for someone to throw it to. He ends up kicking this himself down the pitch. It's going to be Charlton who wins this over to Martinez, up to Edwards. Edwards to Pogba, and poor, but Mountain wins it back over to Giggs. Edwards back to Giggs, back to Lev Yashin. Things, I don't know if you can tell, but the game's starting to have some problems. And ends up being with Ronaldo here. Cross it to Bobby Charlton, and it's a poor shot by Bobby Charlton. That really should have been a goal. We looked very, very good in terms of controlling the ball and keeping possession. And it was good until the finish, which is one of those football manager cliches. It's always good until the finish. That should have been a goal. Here's another attempt, and we've crossed this to the defense once again. And we go back trying to win this one, and we're unable to. But Edwards sticks with it, and then he loses it right away. And this leads to a shot on goal that is off the crossbar and out. And that was a heart attack moment. 1-0 still for United. Here's Edwards with the ball. The last goal was scored 2 minutes into the match. Edwards gets it back from Giggs over to Charlton, passes back to Jong Woo-young, and Jong Woo-young loses it right away. Once again, he's, as I've said before, he's not quite up for this level. Terry wins this over to Breitner. Breitner, and who is he passing that to? What was that supposed to be? Here's Ronaldo with it now. Forward for Mount, and it misses him. Giggs with this now, looking for Charlton, whose header was a much better opportunity than the shot he had earlier, but unfortunately for him, that is still off target. And so it's kind of a comedy of errors here. Giggs has this, and well, it didn't even get to Charlton. That was a problem. It was a good defensive effort by Milan to keep that one out. I always wonder, are we incompetent or are they just good at defense? But I think we've had a lot of incompetence here. Here's Charlton out of Breitner, and I don't know why we didn't have an actual shot there. Breitner looks like he's trying to pass it back to Bobby Charlton. How does this make sense? It's passed right here to Breitner, and I'm not sure what he's doing. He barely even touches the ball. It's almost like he's surprised that it got to him. So you get in a great position, the ball comes, and you're like, I don't know what to do with this. Breitner's having a poor match. Throwing from Ronaldo to Jong Woo-young, back to Ronaldo, back to Jong Woo-young, and it's back to Ronaldo again. I'm not sure what that was, and we end up losing possession. But then we won it back in the back. Good job by John Terry. Back to Lev Yashin, over to Martinez, to Breitner, to Pogba, up to Edwards. Edwards over to Giggs. And Giggs gives it away right away. We're having the same problem. Charlton wins this back over to Breitner for Jong Woo-young, who was behind the defense, and that ball was just a little bit behind him instead of ahead of him. And we're still having a hard time making sure we're on the same page. This is forward. Mason Mount ends up getting it and takes a shot, and that is saved. So we got about 3 minutes of extra time here. This has been one of those matches, I'll tell you what. Here is Mason Mount. I'm not going to take him off. I don't see the need to. He's going to try to get a corner in here. You have to remember, we have more matches to play, and instead we're just going to stand here, and then we're going to watch a replay. So, yeah, thank you, Sports Interactive, for doing things that make so much sense. Mount with this here had a good shot, and I guess that's the best that we can hope for. There wasn't really much room for a cross because there were 4 defenders. So I guess that's a low block that they're playing. Pogba back to Mount, who I think is onside, and he wins it back over to Pogba again, and he takes a shot, and that one just whiskers off of the very top of the net and is out. So a little bit more action coming up. We win this in midfield. Charlton with it over for Mason Mount. Mount, good athletic play to get it over to Charlton, and the pass back to him just doesn't work. I'm not sure what Bobby Charlton is doing there. Terry wins this now over to Pogba. Pogba to Breitner, and it is knocked away by the defense again. And so here we go again. It's like a game of pinball. Martinez back to Perry, to Pogba, to Breitner, and Terry. And we go back to the back flippers here, over to Lev Yashin, now to Edwards, up in the center. And if I'm not careful, I'm going to try to tilt the table. Jong Woo-young back to Ronaldo. Forward looking for Charlton, and there are 2 guys around him. I don't know what that was. There's an attempt by Breitner, and it doesn't get anywhere. It's deflected again, and that's what it's been like the entire match. Only a few seconds left. We just have to hope that we can win this in midfield, and we do. Martinez wins it to Breitner, and it's a poor pass, and we've given up possession, and we've given them a chance back in the match, but we are able to win this in the back, knock it out for throw, and I think that is it. Is that the end? Maybe. This is a header, another header. Livyashin pulls it in. That should be the end. And that is the end. We have finally finished this match. We win this one 1-0. 2.72 the XG, only 3 shots on target. So tell me what happened there. We had 63% of the possession. We completed tons of passes. We won everything. We looked awesome, except we can't score goals. So, yeah, there's a problem here. I'll talk with you again tomorrow. Bye.